And then 47% of Christians say that pornography is a problem in the home. There are different options out there. The first option that you have to protect your family online is to manually set parental controls in every browser. That is a little cumbersome to do. It is easily hacked by your children and other family members. They can very easily get around that. And if there's a new browser that comes out on the market and you don't know about it before your child does, then they've downloaded the new browser and they can go anywhere they want to. Also, you must have a pretty good working knowledge of the program options. So if you wanted to go into Internet Explorer and try to set some parental controls, you would have to know exactly where to go, how to do it, and that's a lot to keep up with because every program seems to be different. The other option is an all-in-one parental control suite, and that is what we are going to focus on tonight, to help you understand that you can have an all-in-one suite that can help you protect your family easily and comprehensively. You have easy navigation with on and off buttons. It is hard to hack, and I will talk about this a little bit later about how much harder it is to get around a parental control suite. And you do not need to have working knowledge of all the individual programs that are on your computer. So the first thing we can talk about that comes with parental control software is a filtering and age template. You'll see that on the right-hand side of my screen. We'll go through this a little bit. First, at the very top, you'll see different icons that look like little people, and that's where you can set a profile for each family member that you have. And this is unlimited. If you have 10 people in your household, you can set up 10 different profiles. And that way, when your child logs onto the computer, it will load up that child's settings so that if they're a child in the 9 to 12-year-old range, they are protected at that level. There are also age templates. We have default age templates to where you can choose your child's age, if they're a youth, a teen, adult, or customizing your own categories. I think this is great. I have an 11-year-old right now, so I can put his profile on the youth setting, and it's more restricted. It's kind of like when your child is young and they're just learning how to walk. You certainly don't open up your whole house to them, especially if you have stairs. They might fall down the stairs. So what do? You know that you put up barricades, and when they're ready, you open up more and more doors in your house for them to roam. The internet is no different. You know, we need to start with them and open it up as they mature and as they understand what's going on and about the internet and how to search safely. Speaking of searches, one thing that a parental controls product will do is it will force a safe search on for search engines. And what that means is if you're using Google, Google actually has a setting inside of it called Safe Search. So when your family member searches for different information, with that safe search being on, it will block a lot of the inappropriate results from coming up in the results page for your family to see. There are also custom block and allow lists. So if your child is, say, in the youth category of ages 9 to 12, and they're having to work on a research project, and it may be something to have to do with war or something like that may be blocked, you can actually go in and manually unblock sites for your child so they can get to that site. Also, there are customizable categories at the bottom. So if your youth, let's say that you do allow them to look at things that may be blocked under the default age template, then you can definitely, in a parental control software, you can click and unclick the different categories to allow what you want them to see and not want to see. All right, I have another poll for you, and let me bring that one up. And it has to do with social networking sites. How many social networking sites exist? 3, 10, 25, or over 50? I'll give you just a minute to vote on that. All right. 20% of you said 10, 40% said 25, and 40% said over 50. The answer to that, surprisingly, is over 50. There are a ton of social networking sites. A good friend can help you manage social networking for your child. For me, like I said, I have an 11-year-old, and he's not allowed to have a social networking sites yet. And part of that is because of the age. Some sites do say that you have to be 13 years and older. Maybe your child is over 13, and maybe they have given you the username and password to a Facebook page. A lot of times what we don't realize is our children will give us the username and password of the Facebook page they want us to see, but then they may have made another Facebook page that they don't want us to see that they really use. So that's not uncommon. I have seen even a couple folks of mine that I know, they have two different social networking sites. One is more personal, that they share more intimate information with, and one of them may be one that only they post very limited information, and it's one that they turn into their HR department, because a lot of businesses do have an HR policy now about social networking, and a lot of them track your social networking sites to see what you're posting. So the good thing about some of the parental control software out there is you do not need to know your child's passwords. For Bsecure, we have written our software so that when your child logs into a social networking site, and we track currently over 80 social networking sites, it will automatically grab their username and their password. So when you come into your control panel and you want to look at their social networking activity, all you have to do is go to the area under username, and you'll see their username and which site it is, whether it's Facebook, MySpace, or Twitter. And if you click on that username, it will automatically log you into your child's account. And it's just like you were the child logging in. You have full access. You can see their friends. You can delete unapproved friends. You can change their privacy settings. You can delete inappropriate posts been placed on their wall. Anything the child can do, you can do at that point. You can also set up parental controls to send you real-time text or email alerts anytime that there is inappropriate language used on any of your child's social networking sites. Now, this does cover not only inappropriate things that your child may say, but it also covers inappropriate things that someone else posts. So if one of their friends posts something inappropriate, it will email you, and you can then look and see what context was this said. It may be something innocent. It may not be. You know, as parents, we are the best line of defense to look at something like that and to know and decide whether that is something that's okay or it is something that is very inappropriate that we need to talk to our children about. Next are mobile devices in the home. I don't know about your household, but at my household, we have lots and lots of electronic devices between our cell phones that can browse the internet to a Wii or a PlayStation, an Xbox 360, other laptops, iPads, the list goes on and on. Even the little handheld PSPs and the little handheld Nintendo game systems. It seems like all of those things are now accessible to the internet. And what they do is they're accessible to the internet pretty much through your wireless device. So if you have a wireless router in your home, one thing that parental controls can do for you is it can work with your wireless router so that any wireless device that is connected to your wireless router, whether it's your own family's wireless or whether you have a guest coming over and they're using their own laptop, you do not have to worry about inappropriate sites being visited because all of those devices will be filtered from inappropriate content on the internet. Next is media filtering. That's also a very big thing now, even with TV, online gaming, music. The kids are really moving that way. They're constantly watching YouTube videos. They're watching movies online. And what you can do is you can decide what ratings are appropriate for your child. For my child, it may not be anything over a PG rating. For your child, it may be that they can see up to PG-13. With a click of a button in a parental control software, you can turn that on and off. The same with TV shows. The FCC gives rating to each TV show. So anytime your child or anyone in your family goes to NBC or CBS, ABC, Fox, any of those online videos to watch them, if you have your rating set a certain way and they are not allowed to see anything over TV 14, if they try to view those videos, then guess what? They cannot view them. So you have control over what they're looking at. The same with the online games. Online games work with the ESRB rating system. And if you do not want your child playing any games that are mature or above on the computer, you can, again, set that to the level you want it to be. The same goes with explicit music through iTunes. There are some good songs out there, and there are some that definitely the language will make your ears bleed, to say the least. You can block that from your child being able to listen to that type of music through iTunes, which I think is very good. Any kind of unknown media site where it may not be a major network, such as it may not be NBC, ABC, one of the well-known ones, we just go ahead and block that to be on the safe side. Next is scheduling. What you can do is you can block access to the web based on the schedule that you set. I know my son's best friend, they have a computer at the house, and it's actually not in his bedroom. It's in a family room. But one night when he was 10 years old, he decided that he was going to get on the internet. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. His parents were asleep and very sound asleep. So he just walked into the living room and turned on the computer. They did not have a filter or anything on there, and he just started browsing the internet and looking at whatever he wanted to. His mom and dad were in the back room asleep. I think finally his mom heard something that kind of woke her. So she got up, and when she walked down the hall, she found him in the living room looking at material on the internet. And unfortunately, she couldn't tell what it was because when he heard his mom, he quickly closed the browser so that she couldn't see what he had been looking at. With scheduling, you can set the times. If they're supposed to be in bed by 10 p.m. and you don't want them on the internet, you block that time out and put it in red for every night or just Monday through Friday. If they're supposed to be at home alone and you don't want them on the internet when you're not there and you're still at work, say from 3 to 5, you can set that as well. There are some children who understand that you can change the clock on your computer and then get around certain parental controls, certain manual parental controls. What a good parental controls program will do for you is they can change the clock on the computer all day long. And guess what? It does not affect your parental control software, and it will not mess up the schedule so that they can get on, because the computer clock for our software actually synchronizes with our servers. So that is a hack that they cannot do. Next is real-time parental alerts. We talked about this a little bit with social networking, but it's not just with social networking. You can also have software alert you whenever your children attempt to go to an inappropriate site. It is in real time, so if they are trying to get to a pornographic site, it will automatically send you a message right then, and you can immediately contact them and say, hey, what's going on? I just got an email, and you're not supposed to be going to these sites. Again, you can set it for the sites, or you can set it for the social networking inappropriate language. Next is accountability. We all face temptations, and for some of us it can be a struggle. For some of us it can just be an integrity type thing. Maybe you're in the ministry, or you have a very high profile job, and you don't want anyone to think that you're doing anything that could be construed as bad on the internet. So what you can do is you can have an accountability account set up with many of the parental control software. And what that means is someone else holds the password. That means if you get to a site that is blocked, if you do struggle and you're trying to get to Playboy or one of the other inappropriate sites, it does not give you the option to put in a password and get to that site, nor will it allow you to go into the software and put it on the allow list. If you try to uninstall the software, you must have the master password to uninstall it. And this also works with your children on the uninstall. Some of them will try to uninstall the software package, thinking, well, I'll just take this off the computer and then I can do whatever I want to. And the good thing about it is you must know the master password. If you don't, then you're not going to be able to uninstall it. We had a father call us one day, and he was so upset because his child did have a problem with pornographic sites, and he had tried numerous parental control software out there, and every single one he put on, it seemed like in no time his child was breaking it down and getting around it and getting to wherever he wanted to go. So we said, you know what, we understand you're very frustrated, and you've tried a lot of different things. Let us give you a free trial of our software and just try it and see if he can get around it. And if so, we want to know. We'd love to know how he got around it, what he did, because, we want to fix that. And he called us back within a couple of weeks and said, you're not going to believe this, but he has not been able to get around the parental control software. and it has been wonderful. So we're very pleased to be able to help in that. Back to the accountability side, you've got real-time alerts here as well. So if you are struggling and you have an accountability partner and you're trying to get somewhere that you shouldn't be in a time of weakness, guess what? They get that real-time alert. They can immediately call you on the phone when you need help and when you need that friend and say, how can I help you? What's going on? What are you struggling with? Let's talk about it. Meet me at the coffee shop, and just help them through that time in their life, which I think is just so important. There are numerous things that we can do, and one thing as a parent I really want to stress is that even with a very good parental control software, we can't just rely 100% on parental control software. We can't just say that that's our babysitter. So I want to just talk about some additional things that we do need to be doing as parents. First of all, we need to be proactive. Don't wait until something bad happens. Unfortunately, about 85% of our customers come to us after something has already happened, after their husband or wife has been found out and is addicted to pornography, or after the child has been exposed. Again, going back to that crawling and walking thing, be proactive, set the boundaries while they're still young, and expand them as they grow. Openly discuss with them the good and the bad of technology. They need to know, yes, this is wonderful. Yes, this is fun. There's some hilarious YouTube videos out there. There's great social networking sites that are wonderful for keeping up with your friends and knowing what's going on. But guess what? There are bad people out there, and you need to know. Just like I do not let my child speak to strangers, it's the same thing online. We are always going through any of his sites and saying, do you know this person? Do you know this person? You know, especially on his Xbox, he does play online with friends, and we'll look through that and we'll go, okay, this person here, who is that? And he has to tell me, oh, that's so-and-so from the 7th grade at school, and that way we know. The same thing with your social networking. When you have the parental controls and you can, it's a great opportunity. Use that login. Log into the account and ask your son or daughter, hey, come here. I'm going to pull up your account and let's go through your friends list. Who are these folks? Do you know them? It's important that they know them because so many times there are you know, bad people that are going to pretend to be the age of your child, and your child may be in the mood of feeling like they need attention that day, and they're getting that attention from this stranger that they think is another child their age, and in reality, that person is not a child their age. It's someone who has a sexual predator background that's trying to groom your child and you know, get them to maybe eventually meet them in person. You just never know. So please openly discuss what is out there so that they know not all of it is good, and we do have to be careful. Another thing is, don't be afraid of technology. Learn. Use your child to help you learn. One thing, you know, I'm not a video game person. My son loves video games. I could care less if I ever picked up a controller in my life. It would not bother me if I didn't. But I do take time and I sit down with him and watch him play some of his games. And as he's going through the menus, I'll stop and go, wait, go back just a minute. What was that? What does that mean? What does that do? And then he's teaching me by explaining to me, oh, well, Mom, this is what this does. Isn't that neat? You can go in here and do this and do that. So, you know, we don't have to know every little thing about every program, but we can know the basics. And especially, you know, with a parental controls tool to help us have everything in one place, I think that's wonderful. It kind of takes a lot of pressure off of us. But don't be afraid. If you want to learn more about Facebook, and your child has the account, log into their account, look around, make sense of it, and then tell your child, hey, you know what? I think I want a Facebook account too. Can you help me set one up? They'll be glad to help you set one up. There are occasions when some will not, and I am hearing that a lot more children are not friending their parents on the social networking sites. So that might be an issue. But in a lot of cases, it's not. It's a good learning experience. Establish an internet safety contract with your child. What are the rules going to be? What times of the day can they be on the computer? What time do they need to be off at night? You might want to say, hey, I think 2 hours a day of being on the computer is more than enough. Set those rules. What sites can they go to? Are they allowed to go to social networking sites? If so, which ones? Are they allowed to talk to people online? If so, what context? Is it friends only? Is it that they can talk to friends of their friends? Say they have a friend named Will, and Will has a cousin named Josh that lives in another state. Is it okay for them to talk to Josh, or can they only talk to Will? Just putting all those things out front. Have a plan for reporting bad experiences. Bad experiences are going to happen. We are just in such an online world with technology everywhere. It's going to happen just like in real life on the playground. Every once in a while there's a disagreement. Every once in a while there's a fight. It is no different online. You're going to accidentally search for something, and inappropriate content is going to come up. They may have another child be mean to them online, maybe even saying false things about them, almost even bullying them. What are you going to do? What's that plan going to be? You don't want your child to be afraid to come to you and say, Mom, this site came up of this naked person. What am I supposed to do? They should know this may happen sometime, and it's okay. Don't get upset. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to be upset with you. Just come get me, and I'll look at it, and we'll work on it together. And definitely when they get into social networking, no, anytime someone says anything that hurts your feelings or anything untrue, don't jump in and start an argument online. Come to me first. Let's look at it. Let's talk about it. And then, I as the parent will decide how we can handle this. Your family is definitely worth it. And we do have resources available on our website, which is bsecure.com. And I hope you'll check that out. We have some internet safety contracts that you can download. We have a top 10 list of what you should be looking out for when you're online, as well as some other information on there, such as privacy settings on social networking sites and different things like that, just to help your family know what you can do. And I hope that you will take this presentation tonight. And if you've not done anything yet, whether you use Bsecure or another parental control software, please considering taking that proactive step today and start protecting your family online.